Well, the way we like to start our week at the Stacking Benjamin Show is with a salute to our troops on behalf of the men and women at Navy Federal Credit Union and the people making podcast here in Mom's Basement. OG, Doug, me, Gertrude, Brooke, Karen, Steve, Kevin,
Seems like you're just making up names.
You're just saying names.
Bill,
just
Philippe,
like
Maria,
yes, and Chuck. Good old Chuck.
Don't forget Chuck.
Every team's got to have a Chuck. On behalf of Chuck, let's salute our troops. Time to go stack some Benjamins, shall we?
Semper Fi.
My God, the Dukes are going to corner the entire frozen orange juice market.
Live from Joe's mom's basement, it's the Stacking Benjamin Show. I'm Joe's mom's neighbor, Doug, and as I'm sure you know, it's National Sneak Some Zucchini Under Your Neighbor's Porch Day. Speaking of vegetables, today we welcome Len Penzo for his annual sandwich episode. For our TikTok Minute, we share an amazing way to save money on your gas. In our headlines, we look at Bank of America's hopes for America, straight out of the charred pit where their heart used to be. Plus, we'll throw out the Haven lifeline to Michelle, who's curious about deflation. And then I'll sneak some trivia under your porch. And now, two guys who are leaving you surprises left and right. It's Joe and O-G-G-G-G.
Hey everyone, you're here. You made it. Welcome back to the Stacking Benjamin Show. I'm Joe Saul-Sehy, Average Joe Money on Twitter. Put your feet up and get ready for another hour of financial greatness. They say under promise, over deliver, don't they? Maybe I need to reel that back a little bit. Yes. Get ready for 6 pieces of zucchini under your porch, figuratively, when it comes to this podcast. By the way, I think people in the countryside, Doug, they get how important this holiday is. And some people that live in the city that don't have gardens all around them may not understand the
have ever heard of it.
I don't understand zucchini, period.
You don't understand vegetables.
Oh, I love vegetables. I despise anything that's of the squash family.
As long as they're deep fried, he loves them.
Oh,
yes.
That's not true. In fact, I'm the one that cooks my vegetables too lightly because I prefer them to be crunchy. And everybody's like, the green beans are too crunchy at my house.
Oh.
I'm like, that's how they grow. They grow crunchy.
You don't mean crunchy like burned or overcooked. You mean
Raw.
undercooked. So they're a little snappy.
Speaking of crunchy, guys, we got a crunchy midsection in this podcast.
You have a crunchy midsection.
Because Len Penzo's here. Why, thank you. Len Penzo's here, crunching on sandwiches with us. For people that don't know, that are new to the show, every year Len Penzo looks at inflation in the most creative way we've ever seen, which is through the eyes of either a back-to-school or a back-to-work lunch. What's the price of a sandwich? And how did it change from last year? So
$72.
He takes all the condiments. He takes several different sandwiches and he sees how much they've gone up. Right. Last year it was $5 for your sandwich. This year, you need to refinance your house.
Need more.
I bet I'm close.
It's funny because every year I know this is a podcast episode people look forward to, but man, this year with all the inflationary stuff going on at the grocery store, the gas pump and everywhere else, I think it's a big year to talk inflation with Len. Before that, some bad news for you if you're a true believer in Bank of America and other banks. But before all that, well, there's nothing that relieves stress more when you have had a long day, you are completely fried, and you're thinking to yourself, maybe I'll just go out to dinner. But then you think about all those calories, all that money out of your wallet, and then you realize that you can eat healthy because you found Factor. Factor is ready in 2 minutes. Factor shops, preps, cooks, and delivers straight to your door so you have more time for everything you love this spring, and you don't have to worry about eating healthy and going outside your budget because you've got the food sitting there in the fridge that you had pre-planned. What is Factor? Well, Factor has meals built around your goals, whether that's weight loss, overall nutrition, more protein, or GLP-1 support for strength and workout recovery. Check out Factor's Muscle Pro collection. Every meal's crafted with functional ingredients, lean proteins, colorful veggies, whole foods, and healthy fats. Factor bans 175 plus ingredients, no artificial colors or sweeteners, no high fructose corn syrup, no refined seed oils, just nutrient-dense foods. It's fresh, never frozen, over 100 rotating weekly meals, including globally inspired flavors like Mediterranean and Asian. So there's always something new to look forward to. I use Factor. I think you're going to love it too. Head to factormeals.com/SB50off, stackers, and use code SB50off, and you're going to get 50% off and free daily greens per box with new subscriptions only while supplies last until 9/27/2026. Well, running a small business, as you may know, like I do, it is super fun, but it can also be very tough. And when it's time to get a loan, it can feel impossible to find the lender that you actually trust. Big banks say no. The internet, well, that's full of sketchy offers with sky-high rates and fine print you can barely read. Whether you need help covering payroll, managing cash flow, or investing in growth, you deserve better. And that's why I recommend the small business marketplace Fundera, which is powered by NerdWallet. It's a free, easy-to-use platform. It lets you compare real financing offers from trusted lenders, and it's all in one place. And what I like is that you don't need perfect credit to get started. There's no spam. There's no bait and switch. Just personalized options that fit your business needs. Nothing I like better than a place that treats me the way that they would want to be treated. Using Fundera is a super way to quickly compare options and make your best funding move the way any great business owner would. Here's the best part, though. For a limited time, when you visit nerdwallet.com/SB and fill out the no obligation form, you're going to get VIP treatment and talk with a real person who knows all the ins and outs of small business lending. And you can tell them specifically what you're looking for. They can tell you specifically which options you should probably consider most. Don't risk your business on unreliable lenders. Go to nerdwallet.com/SB to learn more and find the funding you deserve. Fundera Inc., NMLS ID number 1240038. Len Penzo and the Sandwich Survey. Len's waiting upstairs with Mom to get that segment rolling, so let's move.
Hello, darlings. And now, it's time for your favorite part of the show, our Stacking Benjamin's Headlines.
You ever have something come out of your mouth and you regret it?
Never.
You're like...
It's just one of those days, isn't it?
I was in the second row at a Detroit Pistons game a long time ago, and Grant Hill created some new shoes called the Fila Hills, and they were the most ugly. They were. People can just do a Google search.
Raise your hand if you've heard this story before.
Yeah, I think we've heard this story before.
All right, these guys have not heard this story.
Yes, they have.
I think
and it's going somewhere. Did I tell it yesterday?
It feels like it.
Certainly within the last 12 months.
But go on.
Thank you.
It's probably going to be better this time.
Yes, it's very nice. Yes. So anyway, to spare you all the details, because some of you have heard this story before.
You've never done that in your life.
No. You never spared anybody the details? Yes.
Right. No, actually, you're a good storyteller. So
Grant Hill, I'm picturing it, the heyday of the Pistons. Grant Hill's on the team.
In those nasty teal uniforms.
And there's Joe slumming it in the second row.
And after a few adult beverages, I said, yep, I've come to a decision. I think I hate the shoes. I don't know, though. Do you think he gets paid to wear them? And the person sitting directly in front of me in the first row turns around and shoves a card in my face, and it is the Fila rep. And I kind of stepped in it. But that's only a big story because I've told it apparently 87 times on this podcast.
Yeah. There are so many other times you've stepped in it worse than that, I'm sure. That's a good story.
No.
It can't be your worst.
Never. Well, how about this one? I think somebody at Bank of America has me beaten. A Bank of America, this is from the intercept.com. A Bank of America executive stated that, quote, we hope working Americans will lose leverage in the labor market in a recent private memo. Making predictions for clients about the U.S. economy over the next several years, the memo also noted that changes in the percentage of Americans seeking jobs, quote, should help push up the unemployment rate. The Memo, a mid-year review from June 17th, written by Ethan Harris, who stepped in it worse than I did, I think, the head of global economics research for the corporation's investment banking arm, Bank of America Securities. Its specific aspiration, this is what they're hoping for. By the end of next year, we hope the ratio of job openings to unemployed is down to more normal highs of the last business cycle. Of course, the reason they hope that is so that, we can get into more financial trouble and rely on Bank of America more. God bless America. God bless Bank of America.
Yes, indeed. We hope everything sucks more so we can make more money.
I think the worst thing that happened here was he got caught. Because, think of how many businesses and how many industries count on tailwinds or headwinds for them to thrive.
But how many times, though, OG, have you had somebody who you've been meeting with say to you, no, I'm working with this bank, and man, they are super nice. They're in my corner. You're trying to explain to them that the bank is not your buddy. The bank might be helping you, but the bank is not your buddy.
Well, especially a publicly traded bank. I mean, their job is to maximize shareholder profit and value like everybody. I did see something the other day that, they may be getting their wish that I think this was in Morning Brew. Credit card usage is up quite a bit. Some 13 or 15% balances are higher now. And of course, where is that affecting people? It's affecting mostly people with lower credit scores, the people who can least afford to have credit card debt. So they're paying the highest interest. So congratulations, Bank of America, dude. It's working. It's happening.
News just a couple days ago as well. The job market starting to cool off a little bit as well.
I mean, don't they say that unemployment should be at like 5 to 6%? Isn't that kind of the full employment is 5 to 6? Isn't that kind of the number? I have that in my mind somewhere. And we're seeming to be well below that. So let's play devil's advocate just a quick minute. I bet that what he meant to say was, I hope that the market equilibrium is a little bit better. And it came out like, I hope there's fewer people with jobs.
And with more financial problems.
And with more financial problems. Well, I'd like to repossess a few houses in the next year because I earn a commission every time we send those pink letters.
I mean, let's talk about a publicly traded bank because that might have went over some people's head, OG, because buried in a quarterly filing a couple of years ago, Bank of America even said in their quarterly filing, the reason why they didn't pay higher on their savings accounts was because nobody was demanding it. So they were giving it to the shareholders instead. Nobody was demanding higher interest rates from our savings accounts. They were competitive. So we're not giving it to you. We're handing it to somebody else.
That's kind of the way the market works. Whether there were picket signs or there's just an expatriation of customers going to Ally or somebody else who offers a higher rate. I mean, that's another form of a demand. And if they weren't experiencing that, then that's just kind of capitalism, isn't it?
Absolutely. But that's the purpose of the show, Doug. I mean, the purpose of the show is to shine a light on the fact that, you know what? This bank that you're banking at, I mean, every Friday we talk about how that brick and mortar bank probably doesn't have your best interest on behalf of one of our sponsors on Friday, right? Magnify Money. And I think people think, well, okay, that's an ad, whatever. But if we polled our listenership and asked them what banks they bank at, they're banking at that brick and mortar bank. They are. I mean, statistically, they're banking down at the corner at the place that doesn't care at all about them. The head of Magnify Money, when we had him on, used to work at Citigroup and also work for Barclay. And he said, OG, remember this? This is what they solve for. They want you to have the worst credit card debt you can possibly have without defaulting. Yeah. Like how can we make it so that you are absolutely screwed? And by the way, on their balance sheet, they have a line item, which is government fines, meaning they expect ahead of time that they're going to get caught with their hand in the cookie jar. And they have a reserve. They have an emergency fund ahead of time to pay these.
It's the cost of doing business, marketing expense, as it were, or something like
that. Yeah, absolutely. An add-on. Let's make this usable, shall we? Instead of just complaining about banks. Bankrate.com has this piece: 12 ways to bank smarter. Simple tips and tricks to increase your wealth. Number one, reevaluate your bank. I'm hoping that people, if they're using Bank of America right now, OG, maybe doing some reevaluation.
Please.
As we
I know that you think they're the worst bank in the world, and it took them to do the tortilla challenge to me before I recognized. I mean, they just came cold cocked me off the site, wham, and I'm like, holy crap, you guys are terrible. We've been nothing but good customers. They're like, off you go, Yeah,
it's like gone.
Oh, okay,
see ya.
Fun. All right. Whew.
I don't know if they're the worst bank. I mean, every time we say that we're the worst bank, Wells Fargo goes, "Hey, hold my beer." Right?
It's a race to the bottom.
Oh, yeah. Number 2, don't assume your bank is giving you the best rate. But let's be clear about this. Okay, this is a way, OG, to bank better. Don't assume your bank is giving you the best rate. Let's be realistic. If I go shopping interest rates on my savings account, right? What's the net effect going to be? I feel like if I do that more than once a year, I'm probably messing up.
Well, and what's the return? You're not going to go from 1 to 5. There's not a 5%er out there. You might go from 1 to 1.1, and there's a lot of cost of doing business. I have an idea about how to make some pretty easy money, and I'm trying to get Mrs. OG to do it because I don't want to do the energy on it. But you get those things in the mail that say like, hey, open an account.
Wow.
Yeah.
I know a way for us to earn extra money, and I'm trying to get
tough in the OG household, aren't they?
Yeah. Yes. But no, seriously,
pulling your weight, hon.
I would like to know if someone has done this. Like, you get those things in the mail
that are
like...
It's called OnlyFans for a reason. It's called OnlyFans for a reason. There's OnlyFans there, Mrs. OG.
Yeah. I mean, you get those letters in the mail from like Chase or somebody that's like, open an account here and we'll give you $300. And, there's some fine print, and it's a relatively low lift, right? You got to move your direct deposit, keep the account there for 90 days, and then give you some money. I feel like you could make a pretty good side hustle running that gauntlet of, now it's a pain in the butt, right? Because you got to like change banks every 90 days or whatever it is. But if somebody's done that, I would like to hear from them, because I think that would be a fun game to play for someone else in my family to play for me.
Well, it's funny, OG, because if you remember just before COVID, on one of our stacker episodes and exciting stuff stackers do, Alan in Wisconsin does exactly that. He's got like a spreadsheet of how long he's got to leave it there. And he just goes to his mailbox, and whatever the offer is, hey, if it's $100, I go move it. And he's making, I think he made that year when we had him on. We'll link to it in the show notes, but I believe off the top of my head, it was $12,000, I think, in a year.
Okay. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
We do like 150 shows a year, and you're going back 2 or 3 years and expecting us to remember a dude from Wisconsin who does this?
I didn't expect you to remember anything. I was expecting OG to remember it. I don't expect you to remember what you had for breakfast.
Enough. All right. Yes. Fair enough. I deserve that.
The next one on this list, strategically plan your bank interactions. Planning your visit for non-urgent matters rather than just dropping by can help you ensure you receive the help you need. Okay.
That's what I do.
Communicate.
Just drop by local Bank of America. Like, hey guys, how's it going?
Hey.
Show up in a hooded sweatshirt.
You have good coffee.
Closing an account too soon could cost you. So communicate before you close account. Boy, OG, on last week's show about Stockpile, I got several emails from people, that ran into that $75 account transfer problem.
I told you how to do it. Sell it, transfer cash.
Yeah. Communicate ahead of time, and make sure you read the fine print, and then consider keeping your money in multiple banks. I'll tell you that this is what I do. I like having my emergency fund in one bank, my emergency money, and then my utility bank, the one where I'm doing all of my transactions, all my budgeting, in a separate bank. Because otherwise, I found, for me anyway, when I mix banks, when I have them, even if I have 2 different accounts at the same bank, the fact that I can transfer them easily back and forth between each other creates a mess of bender spending on a fun Friday night. Ends up being a
spending
Amazon trip for Joe. So set yourself up to win. Number 11 on this list, let your bank know when you're traveling. I found the last time we traveled overseas, OG, that the bank actually said, you don't need to call us anymore, that we're good on that. So check with your bank. However, when we were in England, my debit card would not work because we did not tell our financial institution ahead of time. And by the time they could get it fixed, we were ready to come back.
There's a joke there about not being enough money in the account. That's why the debit card didn't work.
Well, that too. There might have been two reasons.
might have been a few reasons.
I'll link to this on our show notes page at stackingbenjamins.com. Not just the Bank of America, but also this bank rate list of tips to do better banking. Hey, it's time for our TikTok Minute, time when we shine the light on some great TikTok creator. Doug, let's go to you today. Is this a great creator, fantastic creator, or is this a great creator in quotes?
Well, you know what? Sooner or later, one of these is going to be like genuinely good and impressive. So I'm going to roll the dice. I'm going with impressive, really good, no quotes.
Well, you nailed it, my friend, because this is actually a public service announcement. This is actually a news report that somebody made a reel out of. Listen to what people are doing at a gas station near you.
Roseville AM PM, much like the one we're at right now. And what you're going to see is a man very casually get out of his car, walk around to the other side of the pump and switch the gas nozzles to the one on the other side. Now, another customer is going to pull up, and while he thinks he's pumping gas into his car, it's actually flowing into the car on the other side of the pump. The Roseville Police Department explains this is from...
How about that?
Yikes.
Just very casually takes those long arms, changes them around so you're using theirs and they're using yours. And when you start to fill up, you're filling up the other person's gas tank. You say, huh, like you have a new idea. Doesn't he, Doug? Oh.
Why do I feel like he's going to sign off of this recording really fast?
I'm more interested in the who came up with it. You know what I mean? Like, I want to know, I want to source that back to the first person who thought that up and went, I wonder if we could do this.
Like if you use those powers for good.
Well, I don't know that there's any way to make that good, but I just want to know who did it. Like I've been pumping gas for a long time and never crossed my mind to do that. And I'm not saying make that activity good. I'm saying if you use those same brain cells to do something good. It's very creative.
Yeah, like to cure cancer or something that's a little helpful.
Well, at least you didn't make a big leap there.
Yeah.
Fix the Ukraine problem.
Something small. Or you could just go stealing gas from the person at the pump next to you. Yeah. By the way, thanks to Emily for sending that to us. If you've got a TikTok or a Facebook, Instagram reel that you think is money related and is fun, send those to me, Joe at stackingbenjamins.com. And thanks for, I don't know. I love how the community helps us make this show. Speaking of community, a guy who's been a contributor of ours since the beginning, Mr. Len Penzo, who runs the highly rated lenpenzo.com blog. Kiplinger gave it blog of the year. CBS Money Watch also called it best personal finance blog. It is a straightforward look at personal finance with a straightforward point of view. Actually, it's a straightforward point of view, I think, OG, in a very quirky way. Len always finds a great creative way to look at the simplest things that many of us aren't solving. And one thing none of us can solve right now is inflation. How do we fight it? Well, we're going to take a look now at exactly how much a sandwich costs. But sandwich between us and Len Penzo.
Nope. I don't like where this is going.
The meat in this Len Penzo sandwich.
Nope.
The peanut butter and jelly of this Len Penzo sandwich.
I mean, you can dream all you want, Joe, but I am not taking part in this fantasy.
No? Just a little peanut butter, a little jelly, a little Len's inflation, Doug's trivia. No? Let's just do Doug's trivia. How about that?
Keep it on the DL. All right. Hey there, stackers. I'm Joe's mom's neighbor, Doug. Listen, guys, you can't just go sneaking your zucchini under people's porches. Keep your zucchini in your basket until someone else asks to see it, okay? I mean, I'm talking from experience here. I tried to sneak some zucchini on Joe's hot cousin Jenna's porch. It came back spiralized. Whew. How else am I supposed to get rid of all this zucchini? I am awash in summer squash. Len, we're going to need more zucchini sandwiches. Can you just switch your whole study up? Because I got to dump this stuff. Speaking of sandwiches, how about I sandwich some trivia into this zucchini share-a-thon? Of all the bills printed in the United States, how many feature non-presidents? I'll be right back with the answer after I go print some more zucchini slices.
I had a breakfast mentoring meeting yesterday with a young woman who was just amazing. She is graduating from college with a degree in wealth management, and she reached out hoping for some pointers. And listen, if somebody's in Texarkana and wants to go into this beautiful field of personal finance and helping people get their money together, that is incredible. But even more incredible is how she reached out, how she was trying to network. And I was having a discussion that finding the right person and avoiding the wrong person for a role, that's what can make or break an organization. And we just don't see that many qualified people. So how do you find them? Well, Indeed sponsored jobs is a boost whenever you need to find quality talent. If you're hiring, Indeed is all you need. You can stop struggling to get your job post even seen on other sites. You'll match with quality candidates with Indeed's sponsored jobs. Get matched with and hire quality candidates who can drive the results you need. Reach candidates who meet your specific criteria like skills, certifications, or location. It drives me crazy when I'm matched with all kinds of people who aren't a fit. I don't have that kind of time. People are finding quality hires on Indeed right now. In the minute I've been talking to you, companies like yours made 27 hires on Indeed, according to Indeed data worldwide. Sponsored jobs posted directly on Indeed are 95% more likely to report a hire than non-sponsored jobs. Spend less time searching and more time actually interviewing candidates who check all the boxes. Less stress, less time, more results. When you need the right person to cut through the chaos, this is a job for Indeed sponsored job. And here's what's cool, stackers. You're going to get $75 in sponsored job credit to help get your job the premium status it deserves at Indeed.com/podcast. Just go to Indeed.com/podcast right now and support Stacking Benjamins by saying you heard about Indeed right here at Stacking Benjamins. Indeed.com/podcast. Terms and conditions apply. Hiring, do it the right way with Indeed. In business, there is no room for guesswork. Every shipment matters. Every deadline counts. And when you're trying to keep operations running smoothly, the last thing you need is uncertainty. That's why reliability is at the core of USPS Ground Advantage. From the moment your package is first scanned in, it moves through a secure nationwide network, aiding in a timely and accurate delivery. You get near real-time tracking so you can keep up with your shipments. And with affordable upfront pricing, there are no hidden fees or surprise surcharges to throw off your cost sheets. It all adds up to predictable deliveries you can depend on, because knowing your logistics are handled lets you focus on everything else, your customers, your team, and the future you're building. Visit USPS.com/Ground Advantage to start shipping with confidence. USPS Ground Advantage. We mean business.
Hey there, stackers. I'm Oblong Vegetable Consent Advisor, Joe's mom's neighbor, Doug. Sure, we all like slices of green, but usually they're reserved for presidents. Of all the accomplished people on the bills, there were nary but a few who did not hold the title president. How many? 2. Only Alexander Hamilton and Ben Franklin made the cut. And now, to 2 guys who put the zoo in zucchini, Joe and Len Penzo.
And we got him live from his bunker deep under Los Angeles. Mr. Len Penzo's here. How are you, man?
I'm doing just fine. I'm munching on a PB&J right now as we speak, Joe. Delicious.
Oh, metaphorical too. And people will know that you are foreshadowing. You're foreshadowing. But let's leave that alone for now. Okay. Were you excited to put this together? Because I know that it wasn't just me this year. I feel like some years it's me going, hey, are we doing this thing? But then there's other years where you get this mountain. I bet this year there's a mountain of interest in the sandwich survey.
Yes, I had people emailing, asking when it was. There's more than usual. Let me say that. I mean, where people were actually emailing me and asking me when I was going to do this year's survey. I've been doing this for 14 years now, Joe, which is hard to believe. But I was extremely interested in the results too, because we've all been affected by, I think most people have been affected by inflation, at least at the grocery store. So this was, to me, a kind of a test of my survey as well, because I was like, well, gosh, I wonder, what if my survey is totally against what my grocery bill has been? We'll see how this, it was just kind of like, was it going to validate my survey or not? I was very interested just to see the results. And I will say this was the most interesting results ever in 14 years of doing this survey.
I will link to, by the way, your overall piece so people can see it, of course, at lenpenzo.com. It'll be in our show notes page. So people want to even have this open while you're listening, if able. That might even help a little, but certainly go to it afterwards and read it. But you start off by saying a lot of the reason, of course, is that the consumer price index is up at the time you wrote this, 9.1%. But you have the word official in quotes.
Yes.
And I was reading a piece the other day, Len, that you'll find funny. I need to send this to you. Sometimes people misplace the quotation marks and they put them in the wrong place. They showed a birthday cake and somebody decided to put quotes around the word dad. Happy birthday, quote, dad, meaning that dad might not be dad. But what they were trying to do, because they don't know how to use the quotes, they were trying to emphasize word quotes, are these cop cars that say to make our community, quote, safer. Like I guess the community's not really safer. We're just going to put quotes. Like, why we put quotes there? But I know you long enough to know that you're a pro at the English language. Quote, official inflation.
Yes.
What does that mean?
Well, the CPI is what the government uses. Basically, that's what they advertise every month when they want to announce what the inflation rate is. And that is fine. Unfortunately, they have changed the methodology of the CPI over the years. Starting in, I think it was 1980, they made the first changes to the CPI calculation. And since then, they made several additional changes over the years. In the 1990s, they made a couple more changes to the methodology as well. They do things like hedonic adjustments now, where instead of measuring, the price of steak, what they'll do is make a hedonic adjustment and say, well, now people are eating hamburger instead. And so therefore they can maintain a slightly lower rate makes the inflation rate look lower than it is. If you go to John Williams' Shadow Stats, who still uses the original 1980 methodology, he's right now showing that the official inflation rate using the 1980 methodology is almost double what the current official, I'm using my quote marks, you can't see me, but I'm using my air quotes, the official rate. So by the old method, it's almost 18%. So that's why I put official in quotes.
I was talking to Vitaly Katznelson, who's a recent guest on the show, money manager in Denver. And he and I were having a discussion while I was there on my book tour. And he said the way he looks at inflation is he looks at imports, exports, because you can see in imports, exports, you can get a much clearer number of how much, X product was and X product is now, right? So you can see it. And by his calculation, he thought we were between 14 and 16. So much closer to the number that you're talking about. And I love this because the idea of inflation, and this gets to your sandwich survey, I think it doesn't matter what inflation is to anybody but you. So kind of tracking your expenses and where it is to you, I think is a huge thing. And we're about to even see that depending on what sandwich you eat, it's going to determine how big inflation affects you.
Yeah, well, and let's face it. Inflation obviously affects people at the lower end of the socioeconomic ladder as well. If you make a good salary, you've got a good household income, you're going to notice your grocery bills going up, but it might not impact you directly. You might not even, you'll just say, I'll pay the extra money. It's a little inconvenient, but it's no big deal. But if you're making, lower end of the socioeconomic ladder, you're making maybe half of what the median household income is in the United States, a higher grocery bill hurts. And you have to start cutting out your discretionary, take away from your discretionary spending to pay for things, more food, to account for that, your grocery bills, your fuel bills. So it is important for a lot of people. This is very important for many, many people.
Well, those fixed expenses, I mean, what's that idea? You can't cut your way to greatness. Like you.
That's right.
You just have to grin and bear it. Now you say in your piece, the estimated cost of a school lunch this year, $3.93. And you point out that might sound like a great deal, but man, you're still much better off this year, Len, brown bagging it.
Yeah. One of my readers left a comment and was saying, hey, it's still cheaper, all right, than buying the school lunch. And I responded, it's like, you know what? I think it'll always be that way, Joe. I can't imagine ever, I don't care how high inflation goes, brown bagging your own lunch to work or to school is always going to be cheaper, no matter what.
And I would think, especially when students get to high school and they're allowed to pick what they get for their student lunch versus an elementary school, at least this is the case was the case for my kid's school. I know for a lot of schools, healthier as well.
Oh, absolutely. You can't beat, have you seen the stuff that they serve at the schools? One, it doesn't look good at all. And then even, let's say you don't go to school. Maybe you're in high school and you at lunch, you walk off campus and you go to a fast food joint. It's even worse for you. So when it comes to health, it's the way to go.
And frankly, you're not getting out of McDonald's at $3.82.
No, I just checked the average price in the United States right now for a Big Mac, not a value meal or anything, but just the Big Mac itself is $3.99 right now. So
there it is.
That's one Big Mac or your school lunch or something much cheaper going and doing your brown bag lunch.
But dude, you've got all of your food groups there. You've got lettuce, cheese, pickles, onions, on a sesame seed bun. What's the rest of that? Yeah. I don't remember that whole
on the Big Mac? Yeah, you got it all. It's all there.
You got all the food groups. Got all the food groups. Yes.
Yeah.
McDonald's, if you want to sponsor the show, we can talk. No, I don't know. So for people that are new to this shindig, Len, let's go through this. You visit the local grocery store and you record the per serving cost of various ingredients. Let's just walk through briefly. What are the different sandwiches that you look at?
Okay. The sandwiches, the 10 that I chose were peanut butter and jelly, American cheese, which you could be a grilled cheese or just the cheese, plain old cheese sandwich, bologna or bologna, if you want to be more refined. Yes, voo-voo. The turkey and Swiss, the ham and Swiss, the egg salad, the salami sandwich. And then we close it out with the roast beef and cheddar, the tuna salad, and the BLT, the highest end sandwich in the list.
And you look at the different ingredients first, and then we put together the entire sandwich. So why don't we start off this year's survey by looking at the ingredients then? Here's the first thing I was surprised by. There are actually a couple of ingredients that actually went down in cost. Like in a year like this year, there are some ingredients that actually cost you less.
Quite surprising. And right before I get into it, let me just make one more point about the servings.
Yeah, sure.
I always, when I do my survey every year, my motto is I'm not loyal to any brand. What I do is I look on the shelf and whatever is the cheapest per unit cost, that's the item that's the one I pick for that particular year, whether it's peanut butter or jelly, and whatever the size of the container is, I just look whatever is the cheapest unit cost. That's what I use for my baseline, because I figure the shopper, if they're really trying to cut costs, they're going to pick the cheapest unit cost with no loyalty to brand or anything. So that's what I've done. I've been doing that for 14 years. Okay. So now what are there were 4 items this year that actually went down in cost, and quite significantly. They were crazy. Turkey, hard to believe, 27% lower than the survey that was taken a year ago this time. 27% lower for turkey.
Can we stop there for just a second?
Yeah.
Do you have any idea what's going on there?
You know what? I have absolutely no idea. Maybe there was a glut of turkeys this year. I don't know. Turkey to me seems more of a national. That should be reflected across the entire nation. I do have items on here that are actually more affected locally. For example, eggs. Eggs tend to be a local impact, because I will do my survey every year and somebody will say, well, the price of eggs actually, did this at where I live. That's, I think, because there's a lot more local egg farms.
Yeah, gotcha. Yeah, sure.
So anyway, I don't know what's up with turkey. Who knows? The next 2 biggest drops was ham. Another meat, surprisingly, dropped 20%. And then we close out the other two items there was tomatoes. The price of tomatoes actually fell 20%. And a condiment, mustard, fell 5%. But that was it. Out of the 18 items, those were the only items that fell in price this year.
I had a theory, Len, about the meats being down so much, about those two meats being down so much. And I'm not sure if it's right, but as we're seeing supply chain issues now disrupt, industry after industry, it just makes me go back a year and think about where meats were a year from now. Remember, we had a run on meat during the COVID time. We had a run on, that was right after toilet paper, wasn't it? Wasn't it toilet paper first and then meat? And then we went through milk and you know what I mean? And it's been all these different things that we've had where, now it seems to be like cars, right? Now you can't buy a car. But I feel like these might be waves from the, post-COVID, that maybe we've got some normalcy coming back to the meats. But I think then it would have been in bacon and bologna, but you didn't see the same thing there.
I noticed that too, Joe, especially on the bacon. I'm like, how come the price of ham came down, but the price in my survey this year, bacon was up 50%.
That's your second biggest. 50%.
Yes, there was one item on that list that actually almost doubled in price. 96. Do you want me to talk about that one right now?
No, let's go ahead and jump on it.
It was tuna, albacore tuna, the cheapest price I could get this year on the shelf. It was 96% higher than last year for albacore tuna.
You've been nice enough to have us ride along on this thing maybe for, I don't know, Len, maybe 7 years, I'm thinking 7 or 8 years. It seems to me, and tell me if this is just my memory, because you don't have a year by year chart on your post, but it seems like the cost of tuna is one of the more variable costs that you have every year on this list. It seems like tuna is always like the standard deviation on tuna prices is through the roof.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Tuna is very volatile. And again, I don't know why that is. I guess sometimes they have good fishing seasons and sometimes they have bad fishing seasons. I have no idea. But yes, that tends to be one of the more volatile priced items.
Some other things that are up big, eggs up 48%, which then leads us to mayonnaise, which is up 31%. So those two make sense to me, right?
Yes.
Egg product in mayonnaise. And then Swiss cheese up 24%. But let's talk about your cheeses here for a minute. Let's get cheesy.
Okay.
Your Swiss cheese up 24%. Tells up with cheddar and American.
Nope, there's no price change at all. There was 4 items on the list this year with no price change at all. They stayed absolutely stable. 2 of them were cheeses, cheddar and American. But Swiss was up 24%. And this is the second year that the price of Swiss outpaced the other 2 cheeses. The price of Swiss cheese is up nearly 50% over the last 2 years. Again, I have no idea why, but that's the way it is.
Well, I don't know, man. Have you been to Switzerland? It's expensive there. That's it.
I guess
Swiss
so.
cheese.
And since I mentioned the other items that did not, the other stable priced items, there was this American cheese, cheddar cheese, the strawberry jelly, which I use, and I always get every year somebody complains about why don't you use grape or why don't you use orange marmalade? But I've always picked strawberry. The price of that did not budge, and the other item that did not budge was lettuce. Lettuce was unchanged from last year.
I'm sorry. If you're complaining about grape jelly versus strawberry, you need a hobby. You got to get yourself a hobby. I'm indignant. All right. So we take all these ingredients and you can hear some eye-popping numbers. But on the other side, as you mentioned, we got 4 of these that didn't move. We've got 3 of them that are down big time. So now let's put together the sandwich costs. I'm just looking at this briefly as a way of introduction. Sandwiches cost did not go up uniformly.
No, they did not. Typically the ones every year, the top 5 usually don't change. Those are the egg salad, the turkey and Swiss, the bologna, the American cheese, and the PB&J. Those are usually the top 5 every year. This year, 3 of those pretty much, they went up, but they didn't go up very much at all. The peanut butter and jelly went up 5%, the American cheese went up 3%, and the turkey and Swiss sandwich price went up 4%.
An acceptable level of inflation on your turkey and Swiss.
I don't think you would even notice it. If you wanted to eat turkey and Swiss every day, you would not even notice that. Now, what's interesting with the turkey and Swiss was it only went up 4%. The price of Swiss cheese went up 24%, but it was countered by the price of turkey falling 27%. So, I mean, it's kind of interesting how some of this works out.
This is why you diversify, people. This is why you diversify your sandwich.
Exactly.
You diversify because the price of turkey mitigates that monster cost of Swiss cheese. And if you really want to change it, just go to Turkey and American and bam.
Joe, that is brilliant. I mean, maybe we should just totally diversify and like put bologna and peanut butter and jelly and put everything on a sandwich.
And there you go. I think Penzo, our work here is done. I think it is done. We got to create some new sandwiches. But boy, that egg salad between the price of eggs and mayo at number 5, that jacked up.
Yeah, egg salad took a huge hit this year. The price of it was up 38%. Now, that being said, it is still under $1. It came in at 99 cents this year. So, I mean, still a relative, even though the price went up 38%, again, affected by the price of eggs and mayo, which went up 31% this year, but it's still under $1. And there were in all 5 sandwiches this year that were under $1. That's the same as last year. The last time we had more sandwiches under $1 was, well, the most we ever had under $1 was we had 7 sandwiches under $1 back in 2018, I think it was. Maybe, yeah.
I remember how surprising that year was.
Yeah. So still, the price went up 38%, but it's still under $1. It's still a bargain. It's still a real bargain for you. So some things are relative.
Egg salad at number 5, turkey and Swiss at number 4, American cheese at number 3, all those holding the same. Bologna last year was tied for number 1. Usually as a piece of number 1, I think this is one of the few years that it wasn't at least tied for number 1, right?
That's correct. It surprises a lot of people, but bologna is one of the cheapest sandwiches. In the 14 years I've done this survey, it was either first or tied for first. So this is one of the only 2 years where it was not in the top spot, either shared or outright. And that brings us to the actual top spot. The cheapest sandwich is this year the peanut butter and jelly sandwich at 45 cents compared to the bologna, which is 48 cents, up 12%.
And I'm laughing because I've admitted this to you every year we've done the study, and I still have done nothing about it. I still have not had fried bologna. I still have not. Every
year.
You're
kidding. Oh, my gosh.
You're going to do it again. You're going to do it again. You're going to tell me again.
You don't know what you're missing, Joe.
Yes, someday.
You don't know what you're missing.
Let's go the 5 on the other side. Let's go for most expensive. At number 6 in the order of least to most expensive. So number 10 is most expensive. 6 here is ham and Swiss. Well, you know what? Let's count it down because I think it's easier for people. 5th most expensive, ham and Swiss. Again, the price of Swiss cheese up through the roof, but the price of ham going down, Len.
It counteracted it. Yeah.
Yeah.
That sandwich is the only sandwich in the survey that actually fell in price this year. It came in at $1.15, which was 4% less than last year. The only sandwich. All the other sandwiches went up in price.
Yeah. Was there inflation? Because so far, Len, it doesn't seem that bad. I mean, we got a sandwich up 5, a sandwich up 12, a sandwich up 3, a sandwich up 4, egg salad up 38, but countered by ham and Swiss down 4. So far we're looking pretty good. A little bit of inflation, it seems like, but not that bad. But now,
now you get into the high-end sandwiches. Yeah, this is where you're going to start. This is where you start paying. The salami sandwich was up 30% this year. The price of the sandwich went up to $1.59. Still, remember, these are still bargain prices compared to, going out a school lunch or going out and getting, whatever at your fast food joint. Still a bargain, but yes, up 30% this year. And that was because of the price of salami, which, the price of salami this year was up 33%. So, very big jump in price there.
And then third from the top, roast beef, which last year, by the way, was second from the most expensive.
Correct.
It was second most expensive. Now it's third, roast beef and cheddar.
Yeah, it only went up 17% this year. Only. That's and again, that's because the price of roast beef was up 20% this year. But hey, $1.95 still not bad for a nice hearty sandwich for lunch.
So then the question is that cost of albacore tuna, did it make tuna salad cost more than the perennial winner, the BLT? Was tuna salad with its huge march up in price now the number 1 most expensive?
No, it was not. Actually, the price of a tuna sandwich went up 83% this year. $2.83 for a tuna sandwich now, compared to last year it was $1.55. So that's an 83% markup. Again, though, it's still cheaper than the BLT, which I think in all but 1 year, the BLT has always been the most expensive sandwich. And this year is no different. At $3.42, the price of a BLT was up 29% this year.
29%.
Yeah.
Which brings us to the drum roll. This is the big thing that you were about to allude to, which is, we say there's inflation. People said there's inflation at the grocery store. What kind of inflation did you have at the grocery store here this year, Len?
Yeah. So if you take all the sandwiches and average them up, it was $1.43, which is a 27% increase from last year. That is by far the biggest increase in price in the 14-year history of this survey. Quite shocking.
But there's clearly some hacks here, which is if you stay among those 5 cheapest sandwiches, you don't have much. It's when you start getting all fancy that you find inflation here.
Correct. But again, it's all relative, right? I mean, it's still, let's say you like tuna, you're still going to come out ahead rather than going out and getting something out, at a fast food restaurant. It might be, I will say this, the tuna and the BLT now, they are high enough compared to that $3.93 average price of a school lunch. It's probably pushing parity if you add the piece of fruit, the small bag of chips, and the juice box in with it's probably pushing parity with that $3.93 now. But again, I still maintain that it's still healthier and better for you to make your own sandwich, your own BLT, and bring it to school or to work, or the tuna salad. It's going to be much healthier, even if it is at parity. So this is still the way to go, is make your own sandwich, as far as I'm concerned.
I don't know, man. I kind of think that letting the sandwich artist, it makes more sense to have the sandwich artist make it for me, Len. Why wouldn't I go down to Subway and have somebody make my sandwich for me?
Well, I haven't been to Subway. I don't know what is a foot long or even a 6-inch sub at Subway cost now. I have no idea. I really don't. So it's
I was thinking of the cost of a sandwich, and our one of our favorite comedians, Jim Gaffigan, talking about Subway and sandwiches.
Domino's, they're doing the sandwiches because of the success of those Subway restaurants, right? Those Subway restaurants are everywhere. I got one backstage in my bathroom. Subway, that was a bit of a disappointment. Subway, right? You're like, hey, Subway, eat fresh. And then you bite it and you're like, not so fresh. Not fresh at all. Even if you haven't been to Subway, you probably walked by and breathed in that bread exhaust they pump out. The smell of bread that was just baked in a dirty dishwasher. I don't know if it's making me hungry or concerned for the ozone. But I go to Subway, and not just because it's fun watching a clinically depressed person throw together your sandwich. They make it right in front of us. You'd think they'd do it with a little bit of flair. You want mayonnaise? Sure. I feel like I'm
on second thought.
You sold me. Yes, let's not. I saw a thing a while ago. Somebody was on Twitter and they took a ruler to the foot-long sub there at Subway, and it was only like 11 inches. So they were complaining that the foot. So shrinkflation even to your foot long.
They need a different ruler. That's what they need. Len, thanks a ton for going over the sandwich survey with us, and eat at home. Eat real fresh. Eat real fresh.
I think it shows that, prices have gone up, but it's still your best bet. I mean, you can't beat a brown bagging it to school or brown bagging it to work. I mean, regardless of the price inflation, which was significant this year, for your pocketbook, it's the way to go.
This is Scott from California. When I'm not hiking at national parks, I'm stacking Benjamins.
Big thanks to Len for letting us take part again in his annual sandwich survey. OG, one of the highlights of our year, talking sandwiches, Mr. Penzo. Your favorite sandwich?
Oh, of Len's or just in general?
Just in general.
I kind of go back and forth. I really enjoyed, I had a turkey Reuben that was on the regular rotation for quite a while. That was a go-to for a bit. Turns out it's like 9,000 calories. So that really does a number on the...
That means everybody's winning.
Waistline. Yeah, you only have to eat once every 4 days, which is
Right.
which is nice. I don't know. It's hard to argue with a club.
Is there ever a sandwich that you like forgot that you really liked and then you had it and you went, oh, where has this been?
Nah, I don't think so.
No, I do that with egg salad. Egg salad sandwich. I'm like, yeah, no.
What?
No egg salad. And then I have it and I'm like, this is heaven. This is fantastic.
I eat hard-boiled eggs all the time, so a lot of those make their way into sandwiches. But my only memory, I like egg salad sandwiches also, but my only memory about egg salad sandwiches are going to church with my grandma, and she would brig egg salad sandwiches for the little thing afterward and put butter on the bread. And it was so nasty that I couldn't even stomach it. And I could never understand, like, why are you putting butter on this? It's so gross. I mean, I get it now. Like, it was like free calories, basically. Butter was free calories way back when. But
just grab a little more.
It kind of is now in a different way. It's like bad free calories. But anyways,
I don't know.
So I can only, when I think of egg salad, I think of grandma's egg salad with butter on it. And that's not how I make it. That's good, but I just can't. Ugh.
Yeah. My mom used to send us to school with peanut butter and butter sandwiches.
Peanut butter and butter.
Yeah, and then I found out that they had life insurance policies on us. So I'm pretty sure she was trying to accelerate things.
To speed this up. Oh, look at the credit card came in a little high.
Yeah, I mean, who does
Send Doug
that?
to school with peanut butter and butter. We did peanut butter and bananas for a while when I was a kid. We thought it was like all crazy, this crazy kids recipe. And so it was my mom, was the person that would do like the floors, the floor's lava because we didn't have any money. So we would,
You're saying you had a cool
play
mom.
games
That's
like
cool.
that. Yes, absolutely. So she would generate excitement out of, oh, look, it's peanut butter and bananas together. We
awesome.
are nuts.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I eat that. That's a good snack.
That's a good sandwich. Yeah, that's a tried and true.
Yeah. Nothing wrong with
That's
that.
not a weird thing.
But the one I always forget about because I'm not 11 anymore, sadly, is peanut butter and jelly. Like, I know Lynn's got it in the study and I'm always like, no peanut butter and jelly. And then I have it and I'm like, this is amazing.
Okay, this could determine the future of our relationship right here. Smooth or crunchy? There is a right answer.
OG just had an opinion.
I've got an opinion.
Like I was asked the question, but he has an opinion.
100% crunchy.
Yes, that is the only correct answer. God, I wish we weren't virtual. I would hug you right now.
Hard pass.
Oh boy.
Joe.
Hold on, I got to find her segue.
He's avoiding it because he's going to say smooth and he doesn't want
It's
to
time
be
to segue.
on the outside looking in.
Where is my segue? I don't need to be part of your club. I got to say, I was about to say before OG answered that when I was younger, it was always crunchy. And now just the damn crunch all the way through it. I'm like, I don't have time for that. My jaw just wants to relax and enjoy my damn sandwich.
My teeth have been ground down due to all the crunchy peanut butter. They've been ground
All
down
this
to like
chewing and
Exactly.
swallowing.
my peanut butter and jelly sandwich in a blender with some milk and drink it.
You guys don't?
Delicious. Smoothie.
Am I the only one? Hey, let's throw out the Haven Lifeline and tackle. I don't even know a segue. Tackle some of life's most important questions. Our friends at Haven Life Insurance Agency, Doug, they put what you value first.
A gallon of toasted coconut ice cream.
Oh, you lost me at coconut.
What?
Your loved ones and your time, it says here. Way better without coconut. It's why they made buying quality term life insurance actually simple. Head to stackingbenjamins.com/havenlife now to get a free quote. Well, at least you didn't say macaroni and cheese ice cream like somebody we know. Love what they're doing at Haven Life because the prices are affordable. You get an instant coverage decision because they are a fintech creator. They've narrowed down that pages long application to just the important ones. You'll find out right away. And of course, all policies are issued by their parent company, Mass Mutual, which is more than 160 years old. Today, we're going to throw out the lifeline to Michelle. Say hi, Michelle.
Hi, Joe and OG and neighbor Doug. This is your new friend, Michelle. A few weeks ago, Scott Trench subbed for OG, and he made the comment that the only thing worse than inflation is deflation. Can you explain that a little bit? Thanks, guys. Have a great day.
All right, OG, you were not on that episode, obviously.
That's what she meant.
But ambiguity, the devil's volleyball.
Words matter, Michelle. Words matter.
OG, I know, like I was mentioning, you weren't on that episode, but Scott did make the statement that deflation is worse than inflation.
Okay.
What do you think?
I think they both would suck pretty badly, evenly. I mean, so inflation is bad because you're losing purchasing power, right? So you have to go make more money to buy the same goods and services. And that causes eventually people to say, you know, I got to cut back on these things, and, you know, and then it leads to recession. But inflation is worse than a recession. So you have to beat inflation even if it causes a recession. So that's kind of that. Deflation, on the other hand, means that you would buy something and immediately it would be worth less than what you purchased it for. So it would be better to wait tomorrow to buy milk than buy it today, because it will be priced less tomorrow than today. And you can see how that would work, right? That just causes huge contraction almost overnight, because why do I want to go out and buy milk today when I can buy it tomorrow for less money? And if I don't need it tomorrow, why don't I just wait till the next day? It'll be less.
Well, the things that are happening in the economy too, for those conditions to even exist, right? I mean, people are doing so poorly that everybody has to lower their prices to get people to buy stuff. Like, that means that unemployment is just rampant, right?
Right.
And yeah, nobody's buying anything.
It's a pretty vicious cycle, right? It probably has high interest rates, which makes you want to hold on to your money. Prices are declining. Supply is increased. Like the exact opposite of everything that you're seeing now. And you go, well, this sucks. The inflation, supply chain, da-da-da-da-da. Surely the opposite could be better. No, the opposite's bad too.
Yeah.
We need an equilibrium, right? Of the right amount of supplies and goods and services, that sort of thing. So there's really not a lot of examples of really bad deflation other than a few kind of really random events. I think like Brazil and Venezuela had some pretty bad deflation. Some countries in Africa, Central Africa, had some pretty bad deflation over the last or periods of it. It can't last forever, right? Eventually, if you give it away for free, you've reached peak deflation, I guess. So
you're done.
So it doesn't last forever. But yeah, I guess I would say deflation is worse than inflation, because inflation, at least you can go make more money. I don't know.
Well, and the reason Scott said that is because of the fact that inflation on a moderate level is a healthy thing.
Yeah.
Where at any level, deflation sucks. Deflation is horrible. So the key, and this was his point, talking about the role of the Federal Reserve, is to make sure that we keep moderate inflation. And as long as they don't create deflation, then they're good. So, and at the time he said that he thought the Fed was going to work very quickly, because the Fed usually has two enemies. Enemy number one is the employment rate, and enemy number two is inflation. And because the employment rate was looking pretty damn good, they could afford to jack up interest rates fairly quickly. And they did. And now we're seeing the natural effect, which is the number that just came out for jobs is starting to moderate again. And by the way, OG, this leads to something else. How many times have people asked you, like, they're like, man, I hope those prices come back down when this inflation is over. Yeah, that is deflation that you're hoping for. Prices are not coming down. They will just, like, don't get me wrong. One company might lower prices a little bit, but to see prices across the board go down is not something I would ever plan on.
Yeah, no, I mean, this is kind of sort of where everything is now. It's just, this is the new number. And now we go up from here.
Other than some commodities. Yeah, right.
I'm buying $100,000 truck now. That's where we're at. And I'm buying it above list price.
Well, certainly not that.
That's the
right. There's.
Are you really?
No, but that's the craziness going on at car dealerships right now.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, I had to clarify that because we would get feedback in the basement. Joe's buying $100,000 truck.
No,
it's not Joe.
Where did he find such a piece of trash? I've been looking all over.
Yeah,
that's right.
That's a great deal. You actually found a truck.
You think about trucks, Doug. You just think about trucks. You don't think about a truck costing $100,000.
It's not hard to get one up in that price range. So one of my favorite podcast episodes of all time, you made me think of this, OG, was an old episode of Planet Money, episode 2. I just had to look this up. I don't store this info in my brain. But it's episode 216. It's from way back in 2015, but it's called How Four Drinking Buddies Saved Brazil. And it's all about inflation and deflation and these wild swings that their original currency was having. And so it's about the four people who figured out how they're going to fix it in Brazil. And you'll learn a lot about just the concepts in general of inflation and deflation. And then it's a great story. And none of us up here in the Northern Hemisphere, most of us didn't know this was going on when it was happening.
We can have those guys back on the show. I had so much fun talking to them. That was a good time.
That was back in like 2012 or 2013 that we
It feels like it was forever ago. Yeah, it has been a while. But no, let's definitely link to that. And, of course, in our 201 newsletter, Brooke Miller will have a bunch of resources. And by the way, Michelle, for being brave enough to ask a question, we've got a shirt coming your way. So watch out for that. StackyBenjamins.com/voicemail. And you too can get the shirt and then lord it over Doug.
Yeah.
Let's talk about just a few things going on around the podcast. If people want more, first of all, we mentioned the 201 earlier, but on Wednesday afternoons, 5:00 Eastern, you will usually find me over on Instagram with another headline and also talking to a fintech guest, in many cases, Stacking Benjamins podcast. Put that in the search engine on Instagram. Also, we have a group of stackers that chat about all things money, and it's great to have a lot of people that are like-minded individuals. That's our Facebook group. Put Stacking Benjamins Basement into the search feature on Facebook, and you'll find us over there. I also got to say a big thanks to anybody who has given us a review lately, wherever you listen to this show, that always tells new stackers just what kind of things they're in for when they come to the Stacking Benjamin show. I saw something interesting here the other day, which is a point that for those of you that have seen me speak already know is something that I've firmly believed for a long time. And it's this: scientists have discovered that it takes approximately 400 repetitions to create a new synapse in the brain. So we talk about atomic habits and building habits, unless it's done in play, in which case it only takes 10 to 20 repetitions. And that is our goal here.
Wow.
Is for you to learn this stuff quicker, and much, much quicker if you make it playful. If you turn it into a game, you're much more likely to learn it. And that's really, I think, what we're all about here at Stacking Benjamins. And thanks, by the way, to Always Learning in Washington. Mom's got this one on the refrigerator upstairs. Always entertaining, 5 stars. Thanks for keeping me entertained and educated on my long training runs and work commute. Man, I can't wait to get back to running. Love the banter, and particularly the Friday Roundtable episodes. Thanks for Always Learning in Washington for sharing that. And last but not least, if you're concerned about the market and the chatter around a recession on the horizon, or the chatter around whether we're actually in a recession or not, I don't think we'll go there. OG and his team put together a free guide that shares 8 moves to make in a down market. Guide will help you plan more and panic less, no matter what the market does. So head over to stackybenjamins.com/guide, and you'll get this helpful free guide from OG. That's going to do it for today. Doug, I think you got it from here, man. What should we have learned today?
Well, Joe, first, in a time when going out to eat is getting more and more pricey, consider staying at home and getting creative between 2 slices of bread. Second, Bank of America, maybe not your bestest buddy. But the big lesson: keep your vegetables on your own porch. Not just your zucchini, but your eggplants, your sweet potatoes, and your carrots. Thanks to Len Penzo for joining us today. Find him and his sandwiches at lenpenzo.com. This show is the property of SB Podcasts, LLC, copyright 2022, and is created by Joe Saul-Sehy. The show is written by the brilliant Paulette Perhatch, with help from Joe, me, and Doc G from the Earn and Invest podcast. Brooke Miller is our producer today and our amazing newsletter editor of the 201. You'll find the 411 on all things money at the 201. Just go to stackingbenjamins.com/201. Once we bottle up all this goodness, we ship it to our engineer, the amazing Steve Stewart. Steve helps the rest of our team sound nearly as good as I do right now. Want to chat with friends about the show later? Mom's friend Gertrude is our social media coordinator and the room mother in our Facebook group called The Basement. So, say hello when you see us posting online. Here's a weird fact. Both she and Tina Eichenberg are never in the same room at the same time. To join all the basement fun with other stackers, type stackingbenjamins.com/basement. I'm Joe's mom's neighbor, Doug, and we'll see you next time back here at the Stacking Benjamin Show. Not only should you not take advice from these dorks, don't take advice from people you don't know. This show is for entertainment purposes only. Before making any financial decisions, speak with a real financial advisor.
Welcome to the after show. This is the part of the show that doesn't exist often here. We'll talk about video games. We'll talk about movies. We'll talk about TV shows we're watching. We'll talk about, oh, geez, kids getting cranky. Talk about all kinds of craziness. But there is a movie review that I really want to shine a spotlight on this movie because there is so much uncertainty out there. In fact, popular blogger JD Roth the other day was asking people, he's like, I just need a feel good. Like, I just need something that is a pick me up. Cause he very much like this movie that we reviewed a few months ago. We finally saw it, Everything Everywhere All at Once, with Jamie Lee Curtis in it. Just been a fantastic movie. And also, by the way, a great feel good movie. So I had huge hopes for this movie that I saw a trailer for, drove to Shreveport to see it. Cause of course they're not showing this at the 14 Cinemark theaters, because those are all full of, I think 8 of them have Minions. 8 of our 14 are the Minions movie. So this is a new movie called Mrs. Harris Goes to Paris.
Mom's away.
Mrs. Harris, what would I do without you?
Mrs. Harris is the soul of discretion. One would never know she'd been but for the polish on my knobs.
That's what we are, Vi. The invisible women.
Kiss me once, kiss me twice, then kiss me once again.
Isn't it divine? £500.
500 quid for a dress?
When I put it on, nothing else matters.
My Eddie would love to see me in a Dior gown.
War's been over a long time. Your Eddie's never coming back.
Nothing wrong with dreaming, Eddie. That's what you are. You're a dreamer.
You should have been receiving a war widow's pension. It comes quite a tidy sum.
Oh, it's my Eddie. It's a sign from my angel. What are you going to do?
I'm going to buy a dress.
A Christian Dior from Paris.
So imagine it's the early 1950s. Mrs. Harris's husband, Eddie, missing in action in World War II. Nobody knows if he's dead or alive. And sadly, early on, she finds out that he's passed away. Mrs. Harris, by the way, now cleans houses to make ends meet. And because her husband's been missing and not dead, she hasn't received any pension. She hasn't received any money. So she's always struggling. And by the way, the period piece, the period outfits that they wear, the general mood, like this is half the reason why I really like Downton Abbey, was I really like the look of Downton Abbey. I think it's just, it's fantastic. And same thing here, just London at that time. And it's funny, some of the people she works for a self-obsessed actress who is this hilarious side character. She works for a guy who always is leaving the apartment, and he always has his niece with him as he's walking out, and he introduces Mrs. Harris to his niece all the time. And he often has different nieces, but one time he accidentally calls his niece a different name than he did the day before, where you figure out fairly quickly these might not be nieces of his.
Gotcha.
And he's the guy that you heard in the clip that says she's the soul of discretion, right? But she finds out very early in the movie that her husband is now presumed dead, and she has bundles of money that's accumulated over the last many years. And she decides, because one of her clients has a Christian Dior dress, that she is going to go to Paris and get a dress at a time, by the way, when Christian Dior was not sold anywhere. You could not buy this anywhere. You couldn't go to a department store. You couldn't go anywhere to buy the dress. You had to go there. And so Mrs. Harris decides to make her happy. She's going to go buy a dress. And of course, Paris is a little snooty, and she's traveling in circles that she normally does not travel in.
So wait a minute. I mean, you've just given us a lot of info about the movie. If you're a fan of period pieces and like Marvelous Mrs. Maisel and that sort of thing, it sounds like it'll appeal to you. But did you like it? Are you recommending it to people to go see it?
Well, I'm glad you asked that, because I like saving that for the very end. So I went in with this hope. That as good as it looked, and the music being as great as it was, and these characters that are so lovable, that I would absolutely love the movie. I very much liked it, Doug. And by the way, if you need something that's just a feel, even when things are bad, things are good. If you need that kind of upliftment in your life, or you know somebody that wants a feel good movie, like you're just in that mood. Like my dad watches all the Hallmark Christmas movies the whole month of December. He just has them on play over and over. It's that kind of thing. And so while I liked it, I didn't love it like I thought it was going to, because it was so sweet.
Sugary sweet.
It was so damn sugary sweet. I like the music. Like you heard that Louis Armstrong song that was playing. So I immediately go to Spotify and look for the playlist, and they have a soundtrack. I play the soundtrack. None of the licensed music in the movie is in the soundtrack. Only the little piano tunes, which, by the way, has been nice, and I've been working to it. But man, I wanted some of those great 40s and 50s songs they were playing in the movie. So looks good, feels good, maybe a little too good. So Mrs. Harris, a thumb up if you need a good feel-good movie. But otherwise, actually, it's funny. I think OG would really like this movie.
I don't see him taking notes about this. As
I am
you've been
furiously
talking,
taking notes of don't watch whatever Joe recommends. I heard no explosions.
Mrs. Harris goes to Paris.
I heard no explosions or swearing. So
no toxic masculinity.
There's no toxic.
Her husband was a bomber pilot. So there were.
But he wasn't a very good one.
No.
Apparently wasn't very good.
I got to tell you, remember the guy that played the bad, and I could tell you this gentleman's name, but I think it's going to be more effective for most people just telling you who he's been. He plays the horrible British officer in The Patriot. Remember that guy? The nasty black-haired guy. He's also Draco Malfoy's dad in the Harry Potter movies, and he is just mean. He is the nicest dude in this movie, and I just can't get over it. Like every single scene he's in is being nice again. I'm like, oh, this guy's going to turn. This guy is so going to turn. I'll give you a little spoiler. He doesn't. Nobody's bad in this movie. So anyway, good stuff. Mrs. Harris goes to Paris.
In our headlines, we look at Bank of America's hopes for America straight out of the charred pit where their heart used to be. Sorry. I was swimming.
No.
You can't put that there and expect me to make it through with a straight face. You can't. I needed that. Okay.